Today I'm going to be showing you guys some behind the scenes street photography I got in downtown Edmonton using my Lumix G9. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys some POV footage I got with my GoPro Hero12 in downtown Edmonton. This day was kind of like a rainy day. It had like a certain feel and a kind of atmosphere to it. It was really nice. Today's gear that I'm using in this video is the Lumix G9 as well as the 12 to 35mm f2.8 Mark II lens. And as I said, I'm recording on the GoPro Hero12. And that's basically all of the gear I use. Whenever I go out and do street photography, I always try to just bring one lens. If it's either a prime or a zoom, I usually like doing street photography with a prime. It's kind of limits you and makes you kind of work a bit harder for those shots. But yeah, I'll kind of be going over the POV footage and kind of talk about my process. You guys will be able to see all of the images I got, and I'll kind of talk about them a bit here and there. And yeah, let's get right into the video. Alright, so now that I'm showing you guys the POV footage, I can kind of get into this day of street photography. So I'm starting out here at the government station in Edmonton, which is an underground LRT station. And I'm just trying to get some different metro type photos. I really like the different trains and these platforms. It just screams street photography. I don't know, it's just something about it. I really like how all of these photos turned out actually as well. So this is a location I usually come to get these types of pictures, and that is the first photo of the day. And it has those really nice leading lines with the yellow tile and also the lights above. Then I end up getting a closer up shot right here of the cockpit where the conductor sits and kind of pilots the train. And this entire day I'm trying to just, or at least my time in the underground station here, I'm just kind of experimenting with lower shutter speeds. Right here I set my camera to 1/40th of a second. However, this photo does not have much motion blur. You can kind of tell it's not super sharp, but yeah, my shutter speed has to be quite a bit lower to kind of get that blur that I'm looking for. So right here I end up seeing this guy waiting for his train, and I set up a nice composition with the train on the left and then the guy on the right, and the nice contrast of the lights kind of bouncing off the tile here really just adds to that really contrasty look of the photo with all that dark and with all the darkness and like shadow and everything. Those lights bouncing off really adds to it. And right here I'm setting my camera to about 1/10 of a second, and I end up getting a lot more motion blur out of this train. As you guys can see right here, there's way more motion blur, and the stabilization on these Lumix cameras is quite amazing. It's very impressive because that's a handheld shot at 1/10 of a second and everything else is completely sharp. It looks like it's been shot on a tripod. But right here I'm still experimenting with some lower shutter speeds, kind of aiming it at the windows of the train, so all of those reflections are bouncing off the glass with all the light, and also the blue of the and like aqua colors. It looks really cool. And then right here I'm just trying to get some shots of these people leaving and getting on the train, and I end up getting this shot. It's one of my favorites from the day, and I'm kind of just capturing that chaos in the cities, kind of people going about their day and just the busyness of it all. But now that I'm out of the station, I'm just walking down the street here, and I end up seeing this construction worker in high vis on this scaffolding working on this building, and I end up getting this shot right here. And I really like how the lines and the slope of the hill kind of just points to him on the building there. And as I'm walking down the street after that, I end up seeing this construction worker just pass by me. So I kind of turn around and get a shot of him walking through these trees. And I love the symmetry of the trees here. It just is a really nice composition. It kind of frames him up, especially with his bright orange vest. It kind of turned out a bit better than I expected, honestly. And then as I'm crossing the street here, I look to the opposite side and I see this guy in this bright blue shirt crossing and walking down the street, and end up getting this shot with the kind of design on the building framing him up. And I really like how that turned out with the contrasting colors and how he wasn't looking at me. Just kind of adds that extra cherry on top, I guess, to the photo. And as I'm walking down, I end up seeing this Ford Bronco in this parking lot. I love the color of it, but also the geometry on those buildings just looks really interesting, especially since it was raining earlier. You get that extra contrast in the pavement here. And as I go down, I also get a picture of this white Audi, and the exact same things for that Ford Bronco photo are true for this one. Just all of those elements really mesh well together. And then right here, I found this composition in this building, and I was waiting for a car to just kind of pull up, like a more interesting car, and I was having no luck until this Mercedes came, and this is the perfect photo. I really like how this turned out, because that was the perfect car to come and slow down in front of that composition, in front of that building, and I just captured it, and I really like how it turned out. I don't know why he slowed down, but it was amazing, the perfect type of car. And then I get this shot of this construction worker working on his site, just like in that hole, with his buddy underground, I'm guessing. And as I walk down, I end up getting this shot of the this building with the crane just being under construction. I like how that turned out with the different grays and whites in the sky. Just the crane is pretty cool as well. And then a bit further down, there's this golden building, like it's a golden cube basically of like mirrored glass. I do not know what building it is. I end up getting this shot. It's just a massive golden cube in like the city. Like, I don't even know what it is, but it reflects light when the sun is out like crazy. But I end up getting this shot of this guy crossing the street. I thought it would turn out a bit better. I did not edit that photo at all, just because I didn't really like how it turned out, and I kind of just wanted to add that in there because not every photo when you're doing street photography is going to end up being a keeper or a portfolio worthy shot. So yeah, you're going to end up getting a lot of bad photos when you're out doing street photography because it's pretty difficult, honestly. But as I'm turning down the block here, I end up seeing this first class cleaner sign. And I've never been to this building before, and I've never seen it before. So I really enjoyed how the sign looks, and I'm kind of trying to get a nice composition of the awning, like this overhang here, with that Jaguar behind it. I'm trying to frame it up, and then I end up getting this shot right here. I really like the vibrancy and the saturation of the colors in this one. And then I kind of get a bit closer and get some detail shots of the different, like the sign and also the awning here. And this is a really nice photo set. I really like doing things like this, getting two complementary photos and kind of melting them together, or putting them side by side whenever I post them on my different social media and stuff, like on Instagram. And then I end up getting this shot of this mural. And I'm using these two posts to kind of frame up this subject, to kind of draw in focus on the subject. And that's something I do with a lot of my different street shots, is kind of utilize posts and different things like that to create a nice frame for my subject to kind of isolate them. But I just got that other shot of the dry cleaners from the other side. I really liked how that one looked. Then I got this shot of this mural on this building. I don't like it as much as the other mural that I got. It's just a bit boring, I guess. But then I end up getting this shot here, and this is pretty boring. I wish there was a subject where those yellow lines are. It would make it a bit more interesting. But this shot I get shortly after, it kind of focuses more on the geometry and the lines of the building. It's really nice and contrasty with the gray and then the blacks. I just really like how that looks. And as I'm walking behind that dry cleaners building, I end up seeing this old linen sign that's on the top there, and I end up getting a shot of the sign as a Lexus is kind of creeping through the alleyway there. I really like how that turned out. Then I get a quick detail shot of this broken little window pane on this window here with the yellow posts. It's a bit of a boring photo, but it's kind of simple, and there's something about it that I just like. But as I turn left here into this parking lot, I end up seeing this Maserati, and I just had to take a photo of it. Of course I had to, because it's just a cool looking car. I ended up getting this photo. I really like the different contrast and depth added by the kind of wet pavement there. And I end up getting this detail shot of the grill here. I also like how that turned out. And as I turn around, I see these two Mercedes, just black and white, lined up perfectly with each other. And I do not know why there's so many like luxury foreign cars in this parking lot by this alley. But I really like the shot that I got right here. I like how the entire composition just worked out with the different orange kind of pines and leaves on the ground, and also the puddles in front and the reflections in the trees. I could just go on and on about this photo, but I really liked how it looked. And then I get a detail shot of the black Mercedes right here. I love how the orange and the black just really complement each other, and that contrast is really just perfect. It's amazing. I love it, especially with the reflections in the hood of the Mercedes as well. And as I'm going behind the white Mercedes, I end up getting this shot here with the Audi in the background and that old linen sign as well. I like how that turned out. And after I'm out of the alleyways, I'm walking down the street and I end up seeing this guy in a suit kind of walk past me. So I just quickly turn around and grab this shot. And there's just something about people in suits in downtown areas that is just really interesting to me. It's kind of like a classic feel. I really like it because you don't see it as much anymore. Then I see this mural and I'm getting this shot here, and it looks like it's straight out of a comic book cover. I really like how that looked with the vibrancy and the saturation. But yeah, that's basically an entire day of street photography in downtown Edmonton. So now that I'm finished up showing you guys the POV footage, I just want to kind of go over my favorite photo from the day, and that would definitely have to be the photo of the older Mercedes in front of the building. I mean, it was kind of a rainy day this day, and it just, everything kind of went together. Like, it gives me some New York City vibes, like 90s New York City vibes for some reason. I love how you can kind of tell it's still wet. It was just such a coincidence that that Mercedes just decided to slow down and pull up right in front of that building, and I was kind of waiting for an interesting car to come into that frame. I kind of set up my camera and was waiting for something to just happen because that composition was just perfect. But yeah, that's definitely my favorite photo from the day. I'm pretty happy with that. And overall, it was a very good day of street photography. I really do like the different LRT stations and stuff, like just the trains and like those underground stations are super interesting. Something about that is just like screams street photography. Like, it just kind of captures the whole essence of it. It's like capturing the hustle and bustle of like the city. Just everyone's doesn't even see you because they're going about their day and everything's so hectic. They just gloss over you, and you can capture that moment in the chaos, and it's really cool. But that's definitely my favorite photo from the day. A close second would obviously be those some of those LRT photos. But now that I'm kind of finished up with the video, if you guys liked any of these photos that I got that I showed off, I'll be posting most of them on my, or I have posted most of them on my Instagram at bmintram, and I've also posted some of them on my website, which is bmintram.myportfolio.com. So I would really appreciate if you guys would follow me on those sites and on my different socials, as it helps me out a lot. If you guys could leave a like on this video and also subscribe, that would help me out a lot as well. And anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.